morning, everyone. That is a great song. Okay, good morning. My name is Dee Dee Camhi. I'm today's service associate, and Ron Avalon will be presenting our message this morning. Our opening words this morning are, and Susan's going to come up and do this with me. Okay.
On.
Okay. We gather today.
We arrive as individuals, as couples, as families, as neighbors, as friends.
We got here by walking, by biking, by riding, by driving, and by connecting.
We bring with us our joys and our sorrows, our laughter and our tears, our worries and our fears, our questions and our beliefs, our ethics and our values.
Some of us arrived early this morning or joined us 10 minutes ago or encountered obstacles on our way. Some of us arrived just in time for the sermon, and some are going to sign online later this week or even next month.
We are sitting in pews or chairs, leaning on walkers or canes, stretching in the aisles, settling in wheelchairs, and relaxing in recliners.
We don't have any recliners
I
here
won't.
today.
Yeah, I want
Okay.
one so bad. Let's do a fundraiser. Yeah.
We members, friends, and visitors alike come from many paths and join today as one congregation to lift up our highest ideals.
We have gathered.
And so we just want to welcome you with live from Fellowship Hall. It's our LCUUF Sunday service. Thank you, Susan. Our announcements were on a slideshow before the service, and we also sent them out by email with the order of service for today. So you all have them. If you're new or would like to receive emails for the upcoming service, please talk to a member of the welcome team. Welcome team, you want to raise your hands? Welcome team. Okay, so any of us you can sign up with. And now a special welcome to our visitors. And I know we have a few today. If you're visiting us for the first time or have returned or reconnected with us for a long absence, we invite you to say your name and tell us where you're from. If you're on Zoom, use the Zoom raise hand feature and we'll ask you to unmute. But if you're in the room, we'll ask you to raise your hand. So any new people here today? She's going to bring you a mic.
Hi, my name is Trish Farrell, and I am from La Bajita, La Foresta, originally from Florida.
Any others? New people? New people?
Hi, my name is Helga. I'm originally from Canada. I've been here 5 months. Very happy to be here. And I will be moving. I live in Ahihi right now, but I'll be moving to Chapala in 5 months.
Wonderful. Great. Welcome.
Welcome.
Anybody else? New people over here?
Hello, my name is Barry Thomas. My wife is right here as well. And we've recently moved to Puerto Vallarta, and we're currently visiting Heidi here in Chapala. Had a very nice time, Heidi, thank you. And I'm originally from England, but moved to America and lived in Oregon for many years. And now we're here.
And now you're here in Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
We'll be there next week. It's hot there. Grace, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, okay. All right. Any other new people? Anyone else? Okay, how about people on Zoom? Any new people on Zoom?
Yes, there are. Naomi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I would.
My name is Naomi, and I'm here with my husband Wayne, who's currently in another room. We are from Guelph, Ontario, Canada, and we bring greetings from the Unitarian Congregation of Guelph there. We're staying in Japala at the moment, and we hope to visit you in person soon.
Welcome. Nice to have you.
Yeah.
Anybody else on Zoom?
No one else on Zoom.
Okay. And now a brief note. We offer a wide variety of services on various topics presented by our members and outside guests, and as well as our minister, Reverend Mal Alspa, who's up in Copper Canyon right now having a great time. We hope you will return to sample this variety of thought and belief. So now we're going to light the chalice, and these are our words. So join me in lighting the chalice. Don't know this. Chalice lighting?
This night in celebration.
And there are many ways to be of service to LCUUF.
This night in
We can do it again. Are we doing it again? Okay. There are many ways to be of service to LCUUF. Our time, treasure, and talents are all necessary components to a healthy fellowship. And now is the time in our service when we ask you to share the gift of treasure through pledging and donations. Instructions for payments to the fellowship are on the slide before the announcement before the service every week. For the people here at the service, at the fellowship, we'll pass a basket. If you're new today, or if you're struggling to hold things together, let the basket pass by. Your presence is more than enough. And it is a gift to us. So while you're considering your gifts to the fellowship, remember that each month LCUUF donates 5,000 pesos or more to an organization in the Lakeside community. We share 1/2 of the offering collected at the fellowship this week with that organization. And this month, we are supporting Operation Feed, a unique organization in San Juan Cosala that offers needy folks food dispenses, classes in English, sewing classes, and some other useful skills. So the basket is being passed. Okay. I know. We wake up to a bird just like this every morning. So our opening hymn this morning is Soon the Day Will Arrive. Please rise if you're able and join us in singing.
Soon the day will arrive when we will be together and no longer will be the children will smile without wondering when the day thunder comes, it'll be soon the day will arrive when we will be together and no longer will we live in fear. And the children will smile without wonder doing weather on the day. It'll be it's dreams have died to take a bright and glory, and our vision remains in our minds. And the torch must be passed with new hope and sorrow, and a promise to me, but you still read and see. We share. We share.
Thank you. I'm still waiting for the bells across the street. They haven't started yet. Should I do more bells here? Okay. Each week, we take time to remind ourselves that we belong to a community which cares for each other. Sharing of joys, sorrows, and milestones is one way that we practice holding one another in community. We speak what is in our hearts, sharing any significant joys or sorrows in our lives, because there is power in the sharing. We will start with the folks in the room to give them, give the people in the on Zoom a chance to type their joys and sorrows. There we go. Okay. Waiting for them. Okay, so let's start with the joys. Whatever you may be celebrating, and this is a lovely time to have the bells go off. Whatever evokes a feeling of joy or peace for yourself or others. Are there any joys that people would like to share? And we can wait for the bells. Okay.
You're in great demand. Hi, I just wanted to say that Terry and I, after 3 months, will be leaving on Saturday, which of course is a joy to have known you all and to find Unitarians. I never expected to come and find Unitarians, but alas. And we will be back next winter because we've already committed. And who knows what comes in the future, right?
Who knows?
Thank you.
Well, welcome. That's how a lot of people start here.
Yes.
I am David, and I'm celebrating my movement from an attitude of poor little old me to I get to get a new shoulder on
Oh,
Tuesday.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Phyllis, and I'm excited because today my son is presenting a wonderful little presentation.
Any more joys? Oh. Any?
Good morning, I'm Heidi, and I have the joy of saying thank you for welcoming all of you, my good friends, Grace and Barry. We had a wonderful time. At least I had a wonderful time. I hope they did, not sure. But we've had a great time together, and I'm going to miss them because they're leaving this week.
My name is Sue. Since I shared with you that Social Security wasn't doing their job, I ought to share with you on March 22nd, they finally paid me. That was 11 months to the day that Kelly died.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Devorah Kelly with a frog in my throat, perpetual. But my joy is Colleen and I are the social action team. And one of the things the board has charged us with is looking at charitable foundations, organizations here. And on Friday, I went with Paula, who's on the board, to Niñas Sabias in Jocotepec. And it is an amazing, amazing organization. We got to witness 20 young women and sixth grade girls, at the culmination of their week-long workshop on empowerment and affirmations and making sure that they do not miss school because they start menstruating. It's an amazing organization, and the girls were so excited, and so were we. So you'll be hearing more.
Hi, I'm Colleen Beery. I just want to say it's a joy to hear from my brother in North Carolina that he is getting finally some help after, oh gosh, they've been there almost a year, help with transitioning to new medical care for his rheumatoid arthritis and sleep apnea, which, you know, you can't sleep and you can't move. That's kind of hard life. He's finally getting help with that. And my niece, Nicole, had surgery to have her thymus removed. Fine, recovering well from that. Thank you.
Well, I'm Judd Dolphin. I too will be going north this next week back to Washington, D.C. And I just want to say I'm so appreciative of the fellowship and the welcome and the friendships that have started here. So thank you for being you. Okay.
Okay, Terry, just a second.
And I have a joy. I'm Dee Dee Camhi. Oh, I'm sorry, Francisco. Go on.
Okay. Hola, I am Francisco. My concern is because my friend and brother Terry, he returned for Chicago next Thursday. Thank you.
Thursday, I'm going back to Michigan. I'll be back in about 6 months, and I'll see you guys then, okay?
Okay. My turn? And I have a joy. I'm Dee Dee. And for the past 3 months, I have been suffering with chemo, and that's why I'm wearing the scarf. I have no hair. But I'm very happy to say that the chemo is over. I will be going to Chicago this week to meet with an oncologist, and I'll be starting my radiation treatments sometime in May. And I want to thank my husband especially for all the support that he has given me over the last 3 months. And it's a joy to be here. Thank you.
It's not on. Is it on now? I have a very strong joy. Dave and I, on St. Patrick's Day, celebrated our 49th. Oh, February. We celebrated our 49th anniversary. My mother gave us 12 months. True.
Okay. Are there any joys to be shared on Zoom?
Yes, there are. Catherine, go ahead.
Our joy is Eric got COVID last week and he's doing a lot better.
Yes.
Able to take long walks now, so definitely over the hump and really on the mend.
Great. Anybody else on Zoom?
That's it.
Okay. Well, now let's take a minute and voice our sorrows. Whatever you or the world may be holding that is in need of healing and caring thoughts. Are there any sorrows that people here in the room would like to share? I'm still thinking about the poor people in Russia and Ukraine. I'm thinking about the poor people in Russia and Ukraine, especially Ukraine. Any other sorrows? Okay. How about on Zoom? Any sorrows on Zoom?
Yes, there are. Joni Ward says, my heart is broken as my dear friend Margot Tremblay has suddenly died, leaving her beloved husband Daryl in shock, friends and family too, at this great loss. He lives here and in BC, Canada. Live your hours fully. We know not how many more we may have together.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Margot, from Joni. And I have one, a concern for my wife, Kathy, who is going to be facing some medical issues that it's going to require a trip to the north for surgery. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay, so now our care candle, and that's the big one, yeah. This candle from our care team represents the joys and sorrows we hold in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. We light this candle for all those unspoken sorrows and joys. And now let's share a moment of silence to hold in our hearts both the sorrows and the joys that have been shared this morning. And this is time to move right into a meditation. So sit up in your seat, place your hands in your lap, close your eyes, breathe in slowly now, and breathe out. Breathe in gently and breathe out. Listen to your breath and listen for another's breath. Whether you are here in the sanctuary, at home on Zoom, be quiet and listen. Now place your hands on your chest and slowly breathe in and breathe out. Some of us hear with our ears the sounds that we make, the sounds that others make. Some of us hear with our eyes. And even though your eyes are closed, you will be able to watch lips and hands and arms and body movements. Send your healing breath to yourself or to any other person who is needing healing right now. Inhale. Return your hands to your laps. Exhale and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about education, and Ron is going to share with you his thoughts about his experiences with teaching in a school here in Ahihic. And so I'd like to share a reading that really inspired me. This is a reading from Parker Palmer's book, The Courage to Teach, Exploring the Inner Landscape of a Teacher's Life. This book made a huge impact on my life at a time when I was under great duress about the decision to leave teaching. Thank heavens it came at this time, as it helped me remind me how much I love to teach and helped me renew my commitment to remain in the profession. He states, teaching, like any other human activity, emerges from one's inwardness for better or worse. Teaching holds a mirror to the soul. If I am willing to look into that mirror and not run from what I see, I have a chance to gain self-knowledge, and knowing myself is crucial to teaching, as knowing my students and my subject. As good teachers weave the fabric that joins them with students and teachings. The heart is the loom on which the threads are tied. The tension is held. The shuttle flies back and forth and the fabric is stretched tight. And I used to be a weaver, so this really means a lot to me. Small wonder then that teaching tugs at the heart, opens the heart, and even breaks the heart. The more one loves teaching, the more heartbreaking it can be. The courage to teach is the courage to teach one's heart, to keep one's heart open at these times when it is asked to hold more than it is able for the students, the teacher, and the subject, so that it could all be woven into the fabric of the community of that learning and teaching requires. How many of you have ever taught in your life? Wow, look at that. So, and it doesn't matter what you've taught. So, can you remember back to the first time that you ever had to go in front of a class or a group? Can you remember that? Good. Well, now Ron Avalon is here today to present to you a few thoughts about his experiences as a new teacher here in Ahihique to a class of 3rd and 4th grade students. And Ron has never had the experience of teaching before. So this should be very interesting. And some of you, I'm sure, can relate. So thank you. Ron?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here today. I'm a little taller. I forgot about that. Okay. Morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here today. I want to tell you how my life has changed since I left Phoenix and came to Ahihique 2.5 years ago. When I graduated from the university in Arizona, I was on a music scholarship and I was an accounting major. I did accounting in Phoenix, and as most of you know, when you work at a job, you work and you go home. You work and you go home. You work and you go home. And there's very little time for extracurricular activities. Where I lived in Phoenix, there was very little interaction in the community, and I lived in a bedroom community, as many people do in the States. During COVID, my company shut down. My mother and stepfather had already settled in Ahihique. Both of them encouraged me to come here. I honestly didn't know what I was going to do here. I was 53, I was too young to retire, and a friend suggested I teach English one-on-one. I managed to get several students, and I actually loved teaching English. I recognized that there wasn't a lot going on for me here, so I returned to Phoenix briefly, and after a few weeks, my mother received a message from the principal at Tahui Moselle, and I just want to take a few seconds to explain what the name means. It's in Nahuatl, and it means children doing for themselves, which is learning, reading, they do it for themselves. That's hence Tahui Moselle. Nahuatl, it's an indigenous language. So Tahui Moselle is an upscale private school in West Ahihique. And for children doing, she needed a 3rd and 4th grade English teacher, the principal. So my mother suggested to her that I might be interested. I had no experience teaching, 0 teaching experience. We discussed it and I flew back to Ahihique, interviewed, and I got the job. The principal assigned other teachers to train me in lesson plans, how to operate the computer, and how to discipline the children. Now I've been there for 6 months. I love my job, and a couple of weeks ago, the principal called to tell me how she appreciated me and how the children love me. And that meant a lot. In the United States, there is, thank you. Thank you. In the United States, there's no way I could have gotten a job like this without going back to school to take classes in education and get a teaching degree. I started attending LCUUF last summer. I love UU because it has awakened a spiritual side in me that I knew I had, but wasn't sure how to express. Coming to LCUUF has afforded me the opportunity to participate in services that are meaningful, that attract like-minded people and that allow me to participate in the entire organization. Before I came here, my timidity would have prevented me from getting up in the pulpit or participating in public speaking. However, my comfort level at UU is such that I feel the warmth and the welcoming of the congregants. I love the music that Michael Reason provides for the services. What I learned from UU is to be environmentally aware. I'm aware of all the changes that have taken place in the Earth's climate over the past 100 years. I definitely take into consideration the importance of recycling, and I'm much more aware of the world. I love the programs we have at UU about social awareness and multiculturalism. Now, today, I'm completely aware of events that happen around the world, unlike before when I lived in Phoenix. Even though I traveled, and I did travel a lot, I still wasn't as aware, but after attending the discussions and tuning in to the programs at LCUUF, I've become much more aware and interested. The earthquake in Turkey and Syria was extremely destructive and maybe the most powerful and destructive in the last century. But my attitude of gratitude is huge. I recognize that my family and habitat are intact, unlike destruction from earthquakes and other climatic catastrophes, tornadoes, etc. And I'm grateful for the relative peace of mind. I do count my blessings every day because I recognize how fortunate we are to be in a place like this. And there are so many things around the world that are unfathomable to imagine. I started attending LCUUF as a result of my stepdad being active in the fellowship. I am learning about multiculturalism and the trials and tribulations of other people. We are in a culture that allows us to enrich our lives by studying cultures and how they live. And we are one with the universe. Before UU, I didn't have an understanding of what religion was teaching me, but my understanding of spirituality has become much more broadened in a culture that sharpens the development of my senses, which is something I did not have before. Now, what I love about my job is, number one, the kids. They are adorable and very bright. And of course, it's very easy to teach kids who are exceptionally bright. They're motivated and they're excited about learning. And it gives me the incentive to want to teach kids who show such an interest in learning. Now, my mother taught in the US for about 45 years, and she has told me that she has never seen a school where the parents had so much input and where the school was so well equipped. And the enthusiasm of the staff is remarkable. Now, my teaching experience is certainly congruent with UU's first principle, which is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Every day is exciting, and there's no typical day, quote unquote. I vary the activities of my classes as children can get bored and restless if engaged in one activity for too long. So children and adults, therefore, they'll learn faster when they're having fun. I play word games with the children so that they will learn new vocabulary. And one game is having the children unscramble words, and they compete with one another to see who can do it the fastest. And that gets them going. I also enjoy the fact that the adults are heavily involved in the school's operations. Okay, we'll do a fun activity here. Let's pretend you are my students this morning, and I'll show you a sentence. I am a firefighter. You guys read along too, if you care to. How do we make this into a question? And the answer is either yes or no. Right. Am I a firefighter? Right now, how do you make this into a negative? I am not a firefighter. Right. Let's look at all the verbs other than to be verbs. He plays chess, right? How do we make this into a question? And the answer is either yes or no. Right. Now, where did the does come from? The rule is to make a question or negative with all verbs other than to be verbs, you must use a form of do. For example, he doesn't play chess. So why don't you students try it? Okay. Mary is a student. How do we make this into a question? And the answer is either yes or no. Now make it into a negative. Isn't a student. And now we'll use a sentence with a verb other than to be. We buy food. Let's make this into a question. Right. Make it into a negative. Right. So the rule is that with all other verbs than the verbs to be, one must use a form of the word do to make the sentence into a question or a negative. Okay. And are we going to do the pictures? Okay, now let's look at the photos of the school. That's a front view, and that is located west of the Waffle House, and it's on the mountainside. The street would lead to the Terra Nova school. Ready for the next one? That's a view inside the gate of the 3rd and 4th grade on top and 1st and 2nd grade on the bottom. And then this is a good saying. It's be like a tree, which says stay grounded, connect with your roots, turn over a new leaf, bend before you break, enjoy your unique natural beauty, and keep growing. And in conclusion, let me thank you for allowing me to share my story. Oh, that's one with me in the 3rd grade class. They're studying about space, and there's a poster of the solar system. That's me with the 4th graders. Okay. And then that's an outing we took to get away from the school. That's the MollyCon in Ahiheek last month. We were there. Okay. Now, in conclusion, let me thank you for allowing me to share with you my story. I'm so glad I'm here in Ahiheek, so glad to be teaching my classes, and so glad to be part of the UU Fellowship, and happy to be here with you today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our closing hymn is Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing.
Touch the earth. Touch the earth.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron, for this very enlightened presentation. In closing, I feel I too have been most fortunate to have had the experience of teaching non-native speakers of English all these years. And I did it as outside of Boston to adults. Watching And you taught children. All Spanish speaking. Wow. Okay. So we have different experiences, one with children and some with adults. So for me, watching people who had come to the United States, who had no skills in a language, and seeing them succeed not only in the language, but in the culture, has been most satisfying. So let us extinguish our chalice with these words, which we will read together. Share with all the world. Our worship is over. Our service begins. So go in peace and with a purpose. And for those of Zoom, you can join together on a large group and enjoy. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.